What's up, y'all? So basically, the purpose of this video is to just start. I'm tired of overthinking and like, oh, when I'm gonna post and who I should post it for, or what should I talk about, or what should I'm gonna stop doing all that because that's how I was in the beginning when I first started like actually getting into social media and all that. I'm done with the it's the best time to post is on a Thursday at 9 o'clock and nah, fuck that. I don't care. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. I'm just about to just you know unleash because I realize I end up prolonging and what's the word, procrastinating. Oh, I'm gonna post on this day. I'm gonna record on this day. Fuck that. I'm just gonna, as soon as I get the thought in my head of whatever I want to talk about, I'm gonna record right then and there. After I'm done recording, post right then and there. I'm not about to hold on to it no more, because then it turns into, I'm not even about to post this. Like, fuck that. If you see it, you see it. You don't, you don't. But basically, my purpose of coming on for this video is to basically just talk up a little bit about my experience so far when it comes to me coming into the know, if you will, like me on my spiritual awakening journey. And I'm not saying I'm woke, I'm waking up, like I'm getting information every day. I've always been the type of person that like asks why and asks how, like even internally. Like majority of my time I spent questioning inside of my head, but sometimes I would project like why, like there's something more to this. There's something deeper than what you're telling me, because I really wasn't the one that just take what you tell me and be like, oh, okay. Like, nah, I'm gonna ask questions. Like most people don't have an inner monologue. I mean, inner dialogue. Like they don't have that little voice in their head, like the one that you read with and all that shit. Like that's interesting to me. Like not that many people had it. I learned that the other day. But yeah. So as a child, I grew up in church. In school, I would always get good grades, A's, B's, honor roll, that jazz. But around middle school, is like the most. Middle school was the time I could like pinpoint the exact, or one of the exact moments where I was like, boom, like I'm right. Like that was validation for me. Like I was in science class or whatever, and we watched this whole video on the Big Bang Theory or whatever. It was like a long ass video or whatever, and they tried to say that it was a ball. It was two atoms that banged into each other inside of a hot gas that formed everything that it is today, and it's still expanding. I'm like, I was laughing. I was like, how? First of all, it's a lot of questions to that one thing, but the main ones I was asking myself at this point, I'm like, first of all, how did it start off hot? First of all, that's one. Two, where did the smoke come from? Three, where did these atoms come from? Like, what happened before that? That's the biggest question we gotta. Oh, we don't know. We'll have to find out. I'm like, at this point, like I said, I was growing up in church and stuff, so I was like, oh, they got to be God or some type of spiritual unknown. At that point, this is me in middle school talking like this, and the teachers, like, they can't get into religion and all that. So she was like, you may be right. You may be right. You may have a point there. We'll just have to find out. And I'm like, yeah. After that, my grades started trickling down because I started to realize, like let's be honest, most of the information that you learn in school, you're not going to use. Even in college, like, what the fuck I need to know the Pythagorean theorem for working at fucking Amazon or some shit? Like, why do I need to know all of this? Don't get me wrong, learning is good. I'm a person that loves to learn, but loves to learn about shit that I feel like matters or is necessary to know, if that makes sense. But majority of school, matter of fact, majority of people that come out of school realize we didn't need that shit. We didn't need 12 years of our life in school to learn the basics. And like they don't even teach us life principles. Like Yeah, we got sex ed or whatever, but as far as like paying bills and credit and shit like that that we actually needed to know, we didn't get taught that. Like, but anyway, like I said, grades started trickling down. I was borderline, like my GPA was probably like a 2 point something. Like at first it was, high or whatever, but after those little moments where I started questioning shit, I'm like, this is really. I became disinterested. So, fast forward to me now, I think last year, the start of last year, well, even years before that, but the start of last year um was really when I started like really going hard with this, trying to connect with my higher self and my spirit guides and things like that. Like I'm strongly into it. If you don't know me, then well, those that know me know that I collect crystals, and I was just testing them yesterday to see if they was real. I put them with the fire or whatever. Yeah, they real. Well, don't get me wrong, I felt the energy too, but I just wanted to, make sure with all of them. So, um, yeah, collecting crystals, reading books. I wasn't really one to go to a library and pick out books to read. Like, I'm reading books. I'm soaking up so much information about things that I believe matter, because that's another thing. For those that know, like that's also on their spiritual journey and, awakening as well, you start to notice that you lose interest in the shit that you was indulging in the beginning. And your whole mindset starts to change, and the people around you, you realize that you're not even attracted to these people in the way that you were. Like you could have the bestest of friends or whatever, and then as soon as you start like coming into consciousness or whatever, you like, what the fuck was I doing, or why the hell did I even, you start to realize the shit that you did before doesn't really matter to you anymore. You on to really bigger and better things to you. I'll say that. I'm not gonna say because like even when I'm talking to people like and they talking about shit that I feel like does not matter. I'm bored, but once you get to a point where you leveling up and shit, you got to come back down to, not saying that better than anybody or whatever, but I'm saying like on the spectrum of interest, on the spectrum of interest, like you got to come down here just to socialize with the majority, whereas the minority of people that are dealing with the same thing, it's hard to find people interested in things that we find matter. Like it's really hard to find. So when you do, I don't know about y'all, but when I hear especially women, when I hear women talking about things that actually matter, I damn near gotta check my drawers to see if I pre-came or whatever, because that shit turned me on. Like a intelligent woman, like that shit is sexy to me. But what I'm saying is, you'll lose friends, you'll lose, or you not so much. Well, yeah, you're gonna lose friends for sure. But the ones that you was really close with, they start to you start to gain a little bit of distance from. You don't have that same connection with them, same as family, and you realize the old you've started to drift away from the old you. So then there comes this feeling of like loneliness and sometimes depression. Not myself, but sometimes depression. Well, I had one moment where I felt depressed or whatever, but doing the work I do, like meditation and breath work and stuff like that, I knew what to do in that time. So But there are people that's still dealing with depression and things like that because you feel like you don't belong. I know I don't belong, you know. Okay, let me not say that. I know I am within this vessel, you know, just, you know, renting this vessel. And I'm not, you know, it's hard to explain to people that really don't really get it. I know I am inside of this vessel just waiting to ascend or whatever. So anything here to me doesn't really matter, but the things that matter to me is those things that, you know, help me to ascend. So that's what I mean by that. And you'll start to realize that when you have your own spiritual awakening. Everybody, well, not everybody gonna have one, but the chosen ones, or, you know, well, they say chosen ones, or, you know, the few, you'll have your experience when the time is right or whatever. I'm still learning. Like I said, I don't know everything. I don't know it all. Especially being a Gemini, I'm good at knowing a lot about, you know, everything, but not specializing in one area. So, but yeah, you start to get lonely. You start to make smarter or like wiser decisions. You don't really indulge in what you did before. Like right now, I used to, like, I'm 25, so half my life has been spent, well, all my life has been spent eating like meat and stuff. I came into this realization that, you know, animals are life too. Like, I always knew that, but once you start thinking deeper into like what you eating, we ain't really supposed to be eating meat. Well, we're not supposed to be eating life or whatever. That's how I feel right now. Sometimes my mind changes and stuff like that. I haven't eaten meat in months. I haven't been counting, you know, days and all that, because then that's gonna weigh on your mind. Like, oh, it's been 12 days. Shit, let me go ahead and get some chicken tenders. Like, don't get me wrong, I've thought about it, but I've been going on for months now. Because especially if you watch what really goes on with the food before it gets to you, man, it'll change your whole perspective. But I'm not really going to rant on that right here, right now. That'll be for another video. I'll make a bunch of other videos and stuff, but I just felt like I needed to get that first one out there. Like I said, matter of fact, I'm not even going to promise nothing, because I've always done that too. Like, I'm going to be on YouTube a little bit more. I'm going to post y'all, and it's going to be on Friday. Nah. As soon as I get the thought, as soon as I feel a rant, I'm just going to turn the camera on, say what I got to say, turn the camera off, post it. Bada boom, bada bing. I ain't about to do all that no more, because that's another thing. Having other people's opinion and, you know, their suggestions or whatever. Don't get me wrong, I screen them, but, you know, I started, well, maybe I should post on this day, this time, but fuck that. I'm going to do what I've been doing. In the beginning, it was very successful for me, and that started trickling off once I started listening to people. So I'm going back to what I used to do. Fuck that. So, yeah, I didn't mean for this video to be this long, but like I said, I'm just going to let it fly or whatever. If you feel the same, you can, you know, comment, let me know what you feel about, you know, how I've broke down my spiritual experience. I'll be having more videos on that. If you disagree with anything I said, you can put that in the comments too. I don't care. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. If you like my grass background, let me know. I'm gonna get some more tapestry, or tapestry, however you want to say it. Get some more of those, because I like this right here. I'll show y'all. I'll do that for another video or whatever. But yeah, I'm out.